Oh my God. What a day, what a day. Or as a wise woman once said, what a day, what a day. Today is going to turn into a great night as we are going to celebrate. Somebody in the comment section said that he about to turn this into a Washington stream. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna allow this moment to hijack my podcast because I got a whole show lined up for this tonight. But we will talk about this. Y'all know what it is. I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this. Oh, man. You're locked into the 350th installment of the Louie T Network podcast that starts now. The Louie T Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description. Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the 350th installment of the Louie T Network podcast. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. We're going to talk about the running backs in a second. And I had all this stuff lined up for y'all today, and all of that just went out the window. So I didn't get to set anything up. I was already running late because I wanted to hear what Josh Harris had to say. He didn't have much to say. He'll be speaking tomorrow. Today was supposed to be brief. It was designed to be brief because they had already had this long meeting to get this thing done. So we weren't going to hear from him all that much today. I don't like how they just cut us off after like 3 minutes, though. He was about to start fielding questions and they just dead it just right there. But it's all good, man. I mean, that's all we wanted. All we needed was confirmation. That's it. That's all we were looking for. And that's done. So what I'll have to do now is I'll have to read to y'all some of the comments that I had earlier lined up for y'all. I had visuals for y'all, but as you could imagine, the game done changed. So obviously we're going to have to pivot and turn in a different direction. But I do want to focus on these running backs though, man. Did y'all see, you know what? I'm going to save that for social media maneuvers. I won't go there right now. Let me pull up what I wanted to talk about. So let's jump into, you can see I'm all over the place now. My mind is not focusing the way that it should, that it normally does. Let's jump into let's jump into the gym dropping session, shall we? Yeah, I definitely need to because I'm tripping. Let me drop this gem on your melon. Open your mind, let your conscience be free. You're now rolling with your man, Louie T double E. Let me open you up, get you thinking a little bit. So we've been talking about this running back situation all off season long. And it's been really interesting to see this thing unfold because you could see this kind of happening a mile away. You could kind of see where this was heading. But my real question is, of this group of running backs who received the franchise tag And we can probably take the Cowboys running back out of this discussion, because he's not going to push back against getting a franchise tag. I think Tony Pollard is cool with getting a franchise tag. He would like a long-term deal, but he knew he was never getting a long-term deal this year. If he gets one, it might be next year. It wasn't going to be this year. So I don't want to focus on him particularly. I want to focus on Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. And there's been a lot of conversation, and this conversation has been leading up to this point that we are at now. And it's easy for people like Brandon Marshall or talking heads around football or on television or retired running backs or things. It's easy for people who aren't in that particular position to talk about drawing a line in the sand and being a martyr. Because if you want change, if you want to affect change as a running back, you're going to have to make a bold statement. You may have to give something up. And everyone is cool with lip service, but when it comes time for the action, a lot of people ain't about that action. And I'm going to ask you guys, do you believe that there's a martyr among those two running backs, Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley, or Saquon Barkley? And if there is, which of the two, unless you feel like it's both of them, are capable of making that type of a statement? Because I truly don't believe, as much as these running backs want change, feel like they're being wrong, feel like somebody needs to stand up for the running back position as a whole and make a statement, as much as I feel like these running backs, including Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler and all of these guys, that they want to make a statement, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, all of them feel like this running back market has shown that this position is being devalued, and it's still one of the most important positions in football. Like there's no debating that. Yet they are treated as if they can be, a dime a dozen. You can find a running back anywhere. Don't draft. You hear people, don't draft a running back in the first round. Why not? I love what the Lions did. Why not draft a running back in the first round? Are you kidding me? If he's worthy of being a pick in the first round, draft him. So it's easy for people outside of the situation that's not in their shoes to say, hey, somebody needs to stand up for the running backs. Make a statement. Show the league that we're not messing around. But you're not the one having millions of dollars being, because again, they signed their name on a piece of paper. For 1 year, they will make $10 or $11 million, whatever that franchise tag number is. It's easy to say, don't sign that. Sit out. They'd be in the same position next year. It's not beneficial for them to really do that. Making that statement is cool, but the problem with the NFL, this isn't like the NBA or Major League Baseball, where you could band together and really make a statement. The NFL has a way of making sure that whatever message they're trying to convey, they convey. And it won't be without the consent of the league. When Colin Kaepernick started taking a knee, you saw how the league reacted. You saw how Jerry Jones reacted. None of my players are going to do that. They know what's going to happen. Other teams spoke out about it, against it. Some teams were for it. Most teams weren't, because as a league, that's not what they wanted to represent. If you don't take the spot, And this is the problem. You're not a united front, which is why back in 87, when there was a strike and the scab players came in, that's why the original NFL players, the real players, called them scabs and were so upset at them, because how are we supposed to get our point across if you come out and you play and people are still enjoying the product? Nope, not the same players, not the same results, but it's still entertainment. People are still watching. How are these running backs supposed to get their point across if there's an Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round waiting to take their spot? It's not like they're the only running back on the squad. It's one thing when a quarterback, because their value is so great, if they were to try to make this statement, shit gets done. Because you can't just put the backup quarterback in and expect the same results as the starter. There are a lot of people out there that believe, which they'll be wrong, but they'll say, hey, we'll be fine. Just put the backup running back in. There's a guy waiting, hoping that Saquon Barkley doesn't show up so he can get his opportunity. There's a running back right now in Vegas hoping that Josh Jacobs holds out of camp so that he can get his opportunity. You can't make the point that you're looking to make if there's someone there willing to take your spot. Now, again, if those players don't perform at the level that you do, like it reminds me of Emmitt Smith holding out after the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. I want to say it was the 93 season. He held out the first 2 games of the season. Dallas started 0-2. Emmitt wanted his money. Cowboys go out, struggle, and Emmitt got his bag after that, right? They start 0-2. Damn, we need Emmitt Smith. Of course, they turned it around after Emmitt got back, won, a bunch of games, won the Super Bowl, and all was well in Dallas. But he made his point. I don't know if Saquon Barkley or Josh Jacobs could make that kind of a point. Neither of them play on Super Bowl contending teams. So I don't know if the loss will be felt in that manner to where they could potentially be a martyr and make a statement that sends shockwaves through the league. It would be viewed more as a one-off, like that's an independent, isolated incident. As much as I would love to see one of these players stand up and make a statement, I can't ask a player to do that, to turn down $10, $11 million in a single season, just to end up being right back in the same spot next year, 1 year older at a position where it's no country for old men, to make a statement on behalf of the rest of the position group around the league that we need better treatment. Because if a GM feels a certain way, if a GM has a philosophical approach to the running back position, he's not going to change that because a guy sits out for a year, or because Derrick Henry is upset, or Christian McCaffrey's upset, or Austin Eckler is upset, or Jonathan Taylor is upset. He's just going to keep doing what he's been doing, and he's going to continue to execute that philosophy. So Matt Miller had a tweet a while back, and he rephrased the tweet, but he pretty much repackaged it and put it back out. And his tweet said, been saying it for years. 1, draft a running back. 2, play the running back. ... If he's good. 3, franchise tag the running back 1 time in all caps. Then, and then ... and then ... go back to number 1. Draft a running back. And then you rinse and repeat that cycle. Okay. So to that tweet, you had NFL players responding, and I think the most impactful is that of Austin Eckler, who wrote, let's see, I might be able to get this up for y'all. Let's see. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Let's I don't want to touch that one. I might need that one. Yeah. Let's go here. I think I can get away with it here. Let's do this. I'm gonna pull it up for y'all so y'all can actually see it. So this is Austin Eckler. Let's open this up and let's get to it so y'all can see it. So that's the Matt Miller tweet right there that I just read to y'all, right? This is Austin Eckler responding to that tweet, okay? So Austin Eckler says, this is the kind of trash that has artificially devalued one of the most important positions in the game. Everyone knows it's tough to win without a top running back, and yet they act like we are discardable widgets. I support any running back doing whatever it takes to get his bag. So in that comment, Austin Eckler is denouncing Matt Miller's statement here, which he should. But he's also encouraging Saquon and Josh and Tony to sit out without saying that. And he's not telling them to not sign their franchise tag, but he said, I support any running back doing whatever it takes to get to his bag. So what he's saying is, hey, I'll support you if you decide to sit out all the training camp, all of the preseason, into week 3 or 4. I'll support that. Now, again, he's not going to be the one playing or sitting out and not getting a paycheck. He wanted out of Los Angeles because they weren't paying him enough, if you remember this offseason. He wants an upgrade. And we'll talk about another player that wants to be paid more money and feels like he is underpaid at his position. Austin Eckler, as we know, has been one of the most multi-dimensional running backs, specifically as a pass catcher out of the backfield in the NFL over the last 3 seasons or so. And he feels super undervalued. Unfortunately, he's still got a year left on his contract in LA. He wanted a trade. No one was willing to give up anything and then turn around and pay him. So he's frustrated. So you see the comment that he made here. I'm gonna read another comment from another disgruntled running back in this group, and this is from Jonathan Taylor. He hasn't gotten to the bag yet. All right, this is his last year that he'll have to worry about this rookie contract before something has to be done. And the thought process is he'll want a long-term deal. I think Indy will give it to him. I do, but he could get franchise tag just like these running backs have. And it could become a problem, right? So same comment from Matt Miller, and he's responding over this comment as most of the running backs did in that particular day because they were frustrated. And Jonathan Taylor's comment tweet reads, 1, if you're good enough, they will find you. 2, if you work hard enough, you'll succeed. ... If you succeed, ... 3, you boost the organization. ... And then ... doesn't matter. You're a running back. So he's essentially taking the Matt Miller tweet and revising it to make it fit the running back narrative of it doesn't matter if you're a running back. If you're good, you shouldn't be paid, which is what Matt Miller is essentially saying. That position isn't worth paying. You can find someone else to give you the production that other running back gave you, which is false. You can find a running back that can give you some production, but you may not find a running back that can give you that production. Certain running backs deserve to be paid. I'm not telling you that every single running back that rushes for 1,000 yards needs to be broken off. That is not what I am saying or insinuating. But I am telling you that there are special backs in this league that deserve a second contract, and a hefty one, that deserve to be paid for what they've already done, but what they can still do for you moving into the future. Again, not everyone is worthy of being broken off. Certain guys are special. And I think that the two guys that we're talking about right now, when healthy, are special in Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs. And so they deserve to be paid. And like I said, not every running back deserves to get to the bag. But this notion that doesn't matter what that guy does, don't pay him. Draft a running back. If he's good, play him. Franchise tag him once and then let him walk and then draft a new running back and do it all over again. I've always said, moms out there everywhere, do not let your son become a running back. There's no future in that. You get another one here. This one is from Derrick Henry. He was not happy either. Let's take a look at what he had to say. Derrick Henry, responding to this same Matt Miller tweet that I've been referencing, says, at this point, just take the running back position out of the game then. The ones that want to be great and work as hard as they can to give their all to an organization just seems like it doesn't even matter. I'm with every running back that's fighting to get what they deserve. So they're going to stand together. It's a brotherhood at the running back position, just like it is at receiver, tight end. Like when a player takes less to be a team guy, it hurts the rest of the players out trying to get the bag. Because if you keep setting the bar higher, then the next guy's going to come and he's going to knock that bar down and set it higher. And then the next guy's going to come and knock that bar down and set it higher. And that's what you're aiming to do because it's healthy for the entire position group. The more that this guy gets paid means the next guy that comes along is going to be paid even more than that. And the next guy that comes along that's just as good or not or better is going to get paid more than that. And that's what you're trying to do. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it happens that way at the running back position. Everybody's fighting for crumbs. So, again, Derrick Henry is hearing that Saquon won't show up on time for camp. Josh Jacobs has long said he wasn't showing up on time for camp. We've heard a rumor. I don't believe this rumor. I think it's cap that Saquon is thinking about sitting out into the regular season. I don't believe that. I've already made this abundantly clear. If you ask me which one of these dudes was legitimately about it and willing to do whatever it took to make a statement, I'd tell you it's Josh Jacobs. I could be wrong. I mean, at one point in his life, he was sleeping in his car. He was homeless, him and his family, you know? So he knows what sacrificing is all about. He also knows I never want to go back to that place again. So I don't know if he's willing to sacrifice for the greater good, but it's an interesting dynamic to discuss nonetheless. I just don't know if it's actually going to have the intended result, which is equality for backs all around the league. And this is not the first time we've had this conversation. When I first started this channel back in 2012, I did a segment, and I think it was a small series, and it was called The Return of the Back. You know, and that was a play on Return of the Mac. It was Return of the Back. Because in 2012, we saw this resurgence of the running back position led by Adrian Peterson, who tore his ACL in 2011, came back in 2012, rushed for over 2,000 yards, and drug a sad sack of a roster in Minnesota to the playoffs. With Christian Ponder and Tavares Jackson at quarterback. Yes, Christian Ponder and Tavares Jackson. You heard me right. Were their quarterbacks throughout the season. They both were injured. And if I'm not mistaken, in the playoff game, they had to play a guy that was, I think it was Webb at quarterback on the road at Green Bay. Obviously, that didn't go very well. But we're right back where we were before I made that video, because before that video, there were a lot of people who didn't value the running back position anymore. Up until there was a span there. It was probably like a 6-7 year run where there wasn't a first round running back taken in the NFL draft. And I forget who ended that run, what running back was taken to stop that run. But there was a run there where running backs just weren't taken in the first round. We're not there, obviously. There are teams that value the running back position, but the amount of money that is being dished out to other positions, no position takes more punishment than the running back position. You would think they would be compensated for that, but this is a cutthroat business, the NFL is. And in saying that, they're going to do the thing that makes the most fiscal sense for them. And that's use up a running back, discard said running back, insert new running back, and keep it pushing. And then repeat that cycle. So my question to you is either one of those dudes, Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley, in your mind, martyr material? I can't take anybody serious there, because you're leaving a lot of money on the table. It's easy to make a statement here in July when nothing's going on. Talk to me when we get to late August, early September. If these guys haven't showed up then, I guarantee you they'll be showing up somewhere around that time frame. I find it hard to believe that these guys are going to sit out. They may not want any parts of training camp, and I don't blame them. They may want no parts of training camp. But one thing about football, thing about athletes in general, they miss their sport. They miss playing ball. Football, baseball, basketball, they miss playing ball. So once they see all their teammates out there playing and they see a game on, they can't stay away. I'd imagine that both of these guys will show up. I think Jacobs is going to outlast Saquon. I think Saquon is going to make a statement by being out for maybe a week or two of camp, and then he's going to show up. And I saw the report that they were only $1 or $2 million per year apart on the deal, which is pretty disappointing on both parties' end, because you would like to see a situation in a scenario there where if we're that close, we got to get something done. Clearly, they weren't able to do that. So, anyway, I digress. Let's get to social media maneuvers. I'm a midday marauder. Y'all know what it is. A number of topics that I would love to get to. I want to drop a couple of them in, and then we could just talk about whatever. I know most of you want to talk about the sale of the Washington Commanders, and I'm cool with that too. But like I said, we'll be doing a lot of that tonight, among other things tonight. We'll be celebrating that. So I'm going to just tell y'all right now, public service announcement. Tonight is a celebration. You know what this is. It's a celebration, bitches. Grab a drink, grab a glass. Y'all know what it is. After that, we coming for the whole division's ass. Y'all know what it is. So I'll be bringing some wine with me tonight. We're going to pour it up. And we're going to have us a damn good old time celebrating our rebirth. It's like a baptism. We just came out of the water, refreshed, feeling like new money. Feels good, feels good. So hopefully you'll be able to join me later on tonight for that. But I wanted to throw a couple stories at y'all that I saw, over the last few days that I found really interesting. If you're a Washington fan, this should be of some interest to you because this is right in the division and he's a big part of what they do. So I don't know if you guys saw, but Zach Martin, Cowboys all-pro offensive lineman. He's going to be a Hall of Fame offensive lineman, if you weren't aware. When he's done, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. He's that good. So he looked around at the NFL landscape, and, it doesn't help when Madden puts you in the 99 club. That helps bolster your argument. I know it sounds trivial that you're using a video game as a reference point, but that's where we are. Like, Madden has become the gospel. Players get upset when their ratings are too low. People use their Madden ratings as a badge of honor when it's, at a respectable level. And so when you are christened a 99 by Madden, that speaks volumes. And so Zach Martin, I don't know if this is coincidental or not, but a day after Zach Martin is crowned a 99 on Madden and receives a nice cold one from the boys over at EA Sports, he then decides, you know what? Yeah, I am a 99, aren't I? What the hell am I doing being the highest paid guard in the league? This is some bullshit. So he decides, hey, man, I need some more bread. He's unhappy with his deal, and he's considering not reporting to camp. And the crazy part is, so I'm going to read you a little bit of this. And this is from an article on Bleacher Report. I'm going to read you a little bit of this. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Martin believes he is woefully underpaid relative to the market. And the Cowboys have shown no interest in restructuring his deal. So the Cowboys had about a list of 6 to 7 dudes that they were willing to negotiate with this offseason, whether it was a brand spanking new contract or maybe, upgrading the current one that they have. He wasn't on that list, okay? Martin, who signed a 6-year, $84 million contract extension in 2018, is under contract for 2 more seasons and is set to make $13.5 million in total cash this year and $14 next year. Since going 16th overall, he has been considered one of the top guards consistently in the league. According to Spot Rack, Martin ranks 9th among NFL guards with an average annual salary of $14 million, putting him $6.5 million behind the top earner in Atlanta, Chris Lindstrom. So he is looking for an upgrade in his contract, and the Cowboys have no intentions of giving him anything. They can't afford for Zach Martin to not be on that offensive line, however. Their line, this isn't the Cowboys offensive line 10, 15 years ago, even 7 years ago, that could withstand a Zach Martin not being a part of it. He is the linchpin of this offensive line. When you look around at all the guys that get injured, he is the constant, on that offensive line. They're going to have to figure something out because he is too important to the success of the Cowboys on the offensive side of the football. Another interesting conversation is I saw a new contract for the Steelers edge rusher Alex Highsmith. A lot of people don't really give him the credit that he deserves because it's not easy playing opposite of TJ Watt, although it is a lot easier playing opposite TJ Watt than, say, a basic edge rusher. But, a lot is expected of that guy opposite of him because TJ Watt is taking all of that attention. So you better eat on the opposite side. And he's done so, and he was rewarded. One thing the Steelers do, and I have to give them credit for this, is they take care of guys that produce for them. It's rarely an issue about the Steelers not taking care of a player that's produced for them. They draft players, and if those players play well, expect to be paid in Pittsburgh. You don't have to go anywhere else to get your money. The Lions are trading for Denzel Mims. I talked about this, I want to say last podcast when we were talking about the tight end for Jacksonville that was a former first-round pick, Evan Ingram of the Giants, that just needed a change of scenery. Denzel Mims is in that same boat. He's a second-rounder that the Jets selected probably 3 years ago, and he just hasn't worked out for whatever reason. And maybe he just needs a change of scenery to be effective. This is going to be a fresh start for him. And the Lions are sending a conditional 6th-rounder, and the Jets are sending a 7th-rounder in 2025. So it's essentially a swapping of nothing for them to figure out if Denzel Mims is any good or not. So good luck with that. Good for him getting an opportunity elsewhere, and we'll see if it works out for him. I think that was the last thing that I wanted to talk about in particular. Now we can get to any comments that you guys have out there. You know what it is. Oh, this is the last thing I wanted to bring up. Jordan Addison. Did you see this clown? This man was driving 140 miles an hour. I want to say in like a 55-mile-an-hour zone. Yes. How are you almost going 100 miles an hour over the speed limit? I am utterly shocked at someone feeling like this is okay. You want to drive that fast? Just go overseas. Okay? They drive this fast all the time, and it's not a crime. Okay? You can't do 140. I don't care if no one's on the road. You can't do 140 in a 55. Are you crazy? That's insane. And it was 3 a.m, so there probably weren't very many people on the road, but somebody was on the road. You're not on the road by yourself. I don't give a damn what time of the night, morning, afternoon it is. There are other people, other drivers on the road. You can't be driving almost 100 miles an hour over the speed limit. That's crazy. Yikes. Anyhow, let's get to any comments that are out there that you guys may have. Use the hashtag LouieTLive to have your comment read on the air if it is pertinent, and we will get to as many of those as we can. If you want to ensure that your comment is read, however, super chats are the way to do exactly that. So I do have a super chat, so I will read it. And the super chat is from Reedy Davis. I want to give a quick shout out to Reedy Davis for the super thanks that you gave the other day. I can't thank you enough for your generosity. Those kind of contributions are massive and cannot be understated. So I want to thank you again for the super thanks that you gave. And I want to thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, the wicked witch is dead and gone. Indeed, he is. And it feels good. Feels good to be able to say that. We knew it was coming, but it's nothing like, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. And now that he's officially gone, we can celebrate. And that we will tonight. I cannot wait. And it feels like I'm telling you, man, I know this sounds crazy, and we're just probably in our feelings in the moment, and it all kind of feels surreal because I think most of us, I can't speak for anybody out there, I'll just speak for myself, didn't think we would see this day. Honestly. I didn't ever think Daniel Snyder would willingly give up the Washington Commanders organization. I just never thought that would happen. I viewed him as an Al Davis type in terms of, hey, y'all gonna have to pry this thing from my cold, dead hands. And even when that happens, I'm just passing it off to a relative. Y'all ain't getting this from me. This is mine, and you'll never get it back. But we're here, and he's gone. And it's a new day, and the black cloud has been removed from this franchise. I'm just telling you, this 2023 season feels different. But I will admit, I am in my bag right now. I'm in my pocket because I'm excited. I can see the sun. I haven't seen the sun in almost a quarter of a decade. You'd be smiling too if you were a fan of this franchise. You'd know what this meant. This is our Super Bowl. You can't hurt us, jerk. We're a machine right now. You can't hurt us. Anyway, I digress. Let's see. I don't think that we have any comments to be read. So I think we're going to move on. Comasel Brown writes, since the NFL playing these games, then maybe incoming running backs, agents should start hardballing with initial contracts because of this. And if they set the bar high for drafted backs, so you can't do that because of the CBA that has been put in place, it stops you from negotiating, your deal. There are slots. So if you're drafted 16th overall, then your rookie deal should be, $7.8 million in aggregate, right? Like, you're not making any more than that. It's going to increase if the salary cap increases by a certain percentage, but you can't step out of line. Like, this isn't back in the days where players used to negotiate. Rookies would come into the league and negotiate contracts, and that's how these rookies would come in and be making more than 7-year veterans who have made it to 3 Pro Bowls and been on All Pro twice. And this wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac rookie comes in, hasn't played an NFL snap. 3 years later, he's out of the league, but he's made more money than this 7-year pro, right? That didn't make any sense. It was out of whack. So they fixed it back in 2011 with the CBA, making it so that these rookies couldn't come in and be making more than Pro Bowl and All Pro players. That's bass backwards. So they fixed it. So you can't come in as an agent and negotiate a contract for your guy outside of the parameters and the framework that's already been set for these players and where they're selected. There's a rookie wage scale, and you fit right in wherever you're drafted. So unfortunately, you're kind of stuck. Anyway, I digress. So let's get to our final segment of the show and garbage time. So I want to go back to the visuals because I have a couple for you, and I want you guys to peep game on these and tell me what you think. So we're going to start first with the Browns. They put this out, I think, last week. So I want you to take a look at this Browns get up here. Tell me what you think about this. You got the Browns tight end David Njoku sporting their new helmet. So Browns in a white helmet. Make it make sense, right? What do you think about it? So this is a throwback jersey right here. We've seen the Browns wear this probably 5-6 years ago. This was their basic uniform. They've switched since then back to the classic Browns look, which I like better than this. But they're throwing it back, and they're going to use these alternate helmets when they throw it back. What do you think about this look? The Browns wearing white helmets. I think the Bengals pulled it off so beautifully last year that they've inspired other teams to do this. And we've seen a lot of variations. Obviously, with the NFL relaxing the helmet rule, it's allowed teams to be a little bit more creative. So I don't want to just give the Bengals all the credit. The NFL relaxing the rule, allowing you to wear multiple helmets in one season, allowed teams to be more creative. But teams weren't thinking outside the box like Cincinnati did last year. Then they pulled it off. It was dope. And now a team in their division is biting their style a little bit. So what do you think? White helmets, yay or nay for the Browns? What do you think? I think it's going to take some getting used to for me. They look clean. In my mind, I'm saying, yo, this is fresh. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, they're the Browns, though. They're the Browns. So I think it might take a little getting used to. But this is a little cold-blooded right here. I cannot lie. I wonder how y'all feel. Leave it down in the comment section. And then I got one more for y'all. All right, so this was today. This was dropped today. The Indianapolis Colts dropped one of their alternate uniforms. And so this is what this one looks like here. And what are they calling this thing? I gotta look it up. It's the Indiana something that they're calling this thing. So I want you to look at this and tell me what you think about this. And I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit more. But it's like this mesh breathable. You see that Captain C and how it's got that mesh on it, those little breathable holes. You can see it right there. So that jersey's got a different material too on it. So it's not your standard, alternate look. They went again in black helmets. Everybody's doing black helmets now. That was the thing last year. That was all the rage last year. Everybody went and got them a black helmet. So the Colts are jumping in the fray, and now they got a black helmet. They're going blue on blue with the little stripes on the shoulder, stripes down the side of the pants. I don't know how I feel about this one yet. Maybe seeing this one under the lights in the Lucas Oil Stadium on a Thursday night game or something might change my mind. But if they're just rocking this on a Sunday at 1 with the dome open and Lucas Oil has a nasty shadow in it, like the sun is beaming. I don't know if this is dope. Y'all help me on this one. I don't know if I'm feeling this one or not. I don't know if I'm feeling the black helmets. I don't think I'm loving this ensemble here. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. What is this thing called? Let's see if I can track down the name of this thing. This is called the Indiana Knights. Indiana Knights is what they're calling this thing. This alternate uniform is called the Indiana Knights. I hope they're wearing it at night. Okay. Don't call it Indiana Knights and then rock this during the day. I might have a problem with that. I want to see this thing in a closed dome, in a controlled environment, and maybe the light will hit it just right. And I'll be like, oh, these are actually dope. Right now, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to pass on that. And I didn't even notice this. I'm just noticing it now. The collar is black as well. The collar is black too. Yeah, I'm not really feeling these. What color are the socks? Are the socks blue? Are the socks black? What are we doing here? I don't know. We didn't get that far down. Maybe let me see. I might be able to find another picture where the socks are blue. I got a picture here. Socks are blue. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on these. What about y'all? So let's see. I'm gonna take a couple comments, just read a couple comments rather, and then we're gonna get out of here. Aunt Jay says the white Browns uniforms are fire. Mike Lowry says I like it. Aunt Jay says that's hard to be for real. So I think I'm feeling those Browns joints too. He says Charlie G says I like the Browns new logo. They actually had an elf as a logo. LOL. So the logo is like for the dog pound. It's not like an actual new logo. Now they did have the elf in the middle of the field last year for some games. So yes, and I think the elf might still be an alternate logo for them. What does that elf even represent? I would love a Cleveland Browns fan to enlighten me as to what his purpose for being a mascot is. Make it make sense for me. I'm an outsider. I don't know any better. I just need clarification. Mike Lowry says, I ain't gonna lie, that shit trash. So he was talking about the Indianapolis Colts, Indiana Knights alternate. Seattle throwbacks uniforms are hitting nice. To me, those and the San Francisco 49ers 95 Deion Sanders with the black bold shadow number throwbacks, along with the Eagles Kelly Green. I hate the Eagles, but the Kelly Green Eagles uniforms are clean as hell. And I know they're supposed to be rocking them this year, I think. I think are some of the dopest throwback uniforms you can find. When teams throw it back, you see some classic looks. The Giants, when they wear their throwbacks, them shits are fire, man. The blue ones, the white ones, it don't make a difference. Them shits is nasty every time they put them on, man. And them Seahawks joints, when they rock those, oh my God. Oh my gosh. Those are going to be crazy. And I seen Jackson Smith and Jigba rocking the Seattle throwback. See if I can track down a picture of that for y'all. Seahawks throwback. And it was dope, man. And it's gonna look fire. Let me see who gives the best vibes off. Let me see this. Hawks. Let's see. Yeah, these Janks is gonna be tough, man. So this is what that Seahawks throwback that you were just referencing. This is what it looks like. Yeah, they clean, man. They clean. I mean, but we already knew that. If you've been a football fan and you knew what these look like, these are the Jim Zorn, and one of my favorite running backs, back in that day was Chris Warren. He's a tall, upright runner. He was one of those dudes that I used to just like watch run the football. These were the jerseys they wore. So, I mean, if you were a football fan, you already knew what those joints looked like, and you already knew they were fire. But I can't wait to see those being thrown out this year at some point. Seattle's going to be, teams seem to like to wear those type of uniforms against us. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm pretty sure we play Seattle this year at some point, because I think we play the NFC West as a whole. I don't think I know. I just hope they're not wearing those against us. All right. Like, I think Seattle's playing the Giants on a Monday night early in the season. Wear them then. Don't wear them shits against us. All right. No need in looking crispy. I don't recall if we're going out to Seattle or if they're coming to us. I'll have to check and see. They're not wearing those on the road, obviously, but yeah, another dope uniform. Anyway, I digress. Y'all know what it is. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on this installment of the Louie T Network podcast. Yeah, it's going down tonight. Meet me on the stream. It's going down. Y'all know what it is. 9:30 your man Louie T coming with a bottle of bubbly. We back. We free. Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. I just want to praise you. Yeah, we free. Take them shackles off my feet. Y'all get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you guys later. God bless. And it's going to be a good night. The Louie T Network is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
LouieTeeNetwork.